You know, the United States of America was the greatest country before Trump, and it's the greatest country now after Trump. The white supremacists want to go back. They want to go back to the days when it was legal to own slaves.
You are about to be entertained by the ape, the young man who has become a legend in his own time. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
And what's up, everybody? Welcome, Mr. Ron Kelly. Ron Kelly Talk Radio Program. It's not exactly after Trump, is it? No, it's not after Trump. Trump is still here. Anyway, everybody, welcome. Thanks for joining me. It's Ron Kelly Talk Radio Program. Facebook, YouTube, like and subscribe on YouTube. Just like the little thingy on the corner says, like and subscribe on YouTube. It's Facebook, LinkedIn. All live at the moment, and also on little sickly here. Also on coming up on WBOK 12:30 a.m. in New Orleans. You're about to bust it out in New Orleans. Looking forward to talking to the people out there. Some of them may be listening to me right now on some of the platforms I'm on. So shout out to my people in New Orleans. We'll be there on a regular basis very, very soon. Anyway, welcome everybody. It's just a couple seconds after the hour. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio Program, and it's on. Yeah, it's all over the place. So wow, what a week! What a week! Oh, been catching the heat lately. Can we all just get along? I mean, can we all just get along? Kelly's been catching the heat lately for some of the things that I've been saying. All true, of course. And and people are responding, overreacting, whatever you want to call it, to some of the things I say, which I expect. And and I appreciate that, that love me or hate me, but listen to me. I appreciate that the people, whoever it is that doesn't like me, they still listen anyway. So I appreciate you. But yeah, we've been catching a little heat lately from folks, and I just wanted to say, can we all just get along? Can we all just get along? Because, when we don't, with black folks especially, when we get mad at each other, you're just dead. If you don't agree with me, you're just dead. You don't exist anymore. And that's the way it's been with us. Black folks, we get mad at each other, you're dead. You just don't exist anymore. See, we did a good job with the we perfected the cancel culture thing. Not the white folks. We did. Because the minute I say something wrong, people are or what they think is wrong, people are jumping all over me. But anyway, this is part of the game. I understand it. It's been going on for a while now. So, like me, love me or hate me, I appreciate you to do listen to the Ron Kelly Talk Radio Program. It's just about 4 or 5 minutes past the hour. So, yeah, what a week. What a week. What a week. Oh, boy. I mean, what can you say about Mr. Trump? What can you say? And see, this is what you voted for. See, Kamala Harris was trying to tell y'all. Kamala Harris was trying to tell y'all all the stuff that this man was going to do. And, she was right, and most of us knew it, but she was right. All the things that Trump is doing right now, the Venezuela, this is illness, this is sickness, what he's doing, And, I mean, this Venezuela thing, we're going to take the oil. I mean, how could you get up in Russia's face and talk about the Ukrainian situation when you're doing just about the same thing? Now, no, you're not destroying the company. But what you're doing is even worse, because it's all about the oil, and we all know that it's oil when it comes to Trump. And what he's doing is it's just unbelievable what he's doing right now. And and the saddest thing I think is the people around him are going along with it. These are people who are younger, who are smarter than Trump, who are reasonably sane, or at least we thought they were. And these are the people that are around him that are going along with him. And see, Trump's first presidency back in 2016, he tried to do the right thing. He tried to bring on people, with knowledge. And you notice he was changing the cabinet members like we change our underwear. Just about every day he was changing his cabinet members. But he learned the lesson then. He learned the lesson. And now he said, okay, if I win, I'm going to get a bunch of people that agree with everything I say. If I tell them to jump out the window, they'll do it. And that's what he's got. Hegseth, Kristi Noem, the Secretary of State. It's just everybody around him will do whatever he says. And these people are actually agreeing with him. They're agreeing with Venezuela, which is a huge mistake, And now they're talking about Greenland taking over. And there's people that are going on the news shows that are being interviewed and are talking about this is okay. This is not okay. You can't just take it, and especially another NATO country, you're just going to waltz in there and just... Oh, man. We hopefully we'll survive. Anyway, it's about 10 minutes past the hour. So, yeah. So, this Venezuela thing is just ridiculous. I mean, Maduro wasn't a threat to us. It's a lie. And that's what Trump does. He lies. Maduro was not a threat to us, And only a small fraction of the drugs that are produced in South America come through Venezuela. Because Venezuela is not one of those poor countries. Venezuela has a lot of oil. They're not one of those poor countries. So they don't have to do like some of the other countries in South America where they have to, they don't have a whole lot of resources. They don't have oil. They don't have minerals and stuff like that they can sell. So they are beholden to the cartel leaders, a lot like Mexico is, because the cartel, they're the ones that run the country because they kill people. They killed lawyers and they killed judges and prosecutors. It's not like here, where you can be a prosecutor and live. Down there and in some places in South America, if you go against cartel, you're dead, and there's nothing that nobody can do to stop it. So Venezuela is not like some of the other countries. Venezuela has oil, lots of it. Now maybe they may not have the best facilities to process it and sell it, but they have it. And see, and this is what Trump is talking about. He's talking about, he's already talked to some of the major oil companies in America, and the oil companies are saying, like, we don't know nothing about that. We didn't, he didn't tell us anything. And I don't blame them for wanting to stay far away from that, because they don't want to be a part of Trump madness and the conspiracy to take over Venezuela. I mean, you go into the country, you take out the president, whether he was right, wrong, or indifferent, whether he stole the election, whether he faked the election, or they were saying that he was he wasn't really the president, that he he lost but he didn't want to leave. So much like Trump was talking about, losing but not wanting to leave. And so we went in there and we took him out. We used our weapons, and we took him and his wife out of the country and brought them to America. I mean, dead wrong. Dead wrong. So, so look at, this is ridiculous. Very dangerous precedent Trump is setting. So, you got to get out and vote. I'll get to that in a minute, but it's very dangerous. Now, there was another thing that happened, and I'll get to the ICE shooting and right after the break, I'll get to the ICE shooting. But there was another thing that happened. There was a tanker with Russian flag on it, and we seized it. And this tanker was being followed or shadowed by a Russian submarine, and the Coast Guard followed this ship. Now it's supposed to be allegedly. It was a ship that was carrying something that was sanctioned by the Trump administration, and they finally caught up with this ship and they seized it. Now this is a ship that's flying a Russian flag. I mean, just you know, and see the sad part about it is if Trump starts something, he's the only one that's going to live, him and his family. And maybe the vice president and his family. They're the only one that's going to live. The rest of us are going to be dead, you know, if Trump starts something that he can't stop. You know, so this is a very dangerous time, everybody. This is a very dangerous time. Now, I know we're going on about our lives, which we should, but, you know, you know how the TV shuts off and that message comes across. Hopefully one of those days that message won't be for real. You know, because that's how we're going to be alerted. If somebody launches weapons against us, that thing is going to come on TV and it's going to say, this is real. And just hopefully we're not going to get to that with Trump and his craziness. But we're going to get to, you know, I got a lot to talk about tonight, and we're going to get to the Minneapolis thing. Poor Minneapolis just can't stay out of the news, you know. And what happened at the Board of Education meeting in the city of Paterson? What happened at the reorganization meeting? Somebody fill me in on that. What happened at the reorganization meeting in Paterson recently? Because somebody texted to me, but they didn't tell me what happened. So somebody hit me up and tell me what happened with that at about 13 minutes past the hour. So, yeah, so we'll take a break. No, we're not really, not right now, but we'll take a break in a few minutes and we'll come back with more. But right now, and after the break, I will get to the Minneapolis thing. And that lady, oh man, that lady who died, just unbelievable. Just completely unbelievable. And I wonder if, now, let me take a break first. I don't want to get into it right now and then stop off. So we'll take a break and we'll come back with more of this program. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio Show. And it's on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, WBOK 1230 AM and Blog Talk Radio. Yes, indeed, I am the man. What a news cycle this is. This guy has got to go. Trump has got to go. George Floyd snuffed out by this police officer who's supposed to be serving and protecting people.
It's the Ron Kelly Show.
All right, everybody, we're back. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. Shout out to my people at longtime supporters at American Porterfield Transportation. Did you know since 1980, 1980, you know how long ago that was? That was 45 years ago. Since 1980, American Porterfield Transportation has been your source for safe and reliable transportation to and from your destination. They do school districts, private school transportation, you name it, they can do it. Casino trips, whatever the case may be, senior citizen trips, whatever the case, American Port of Rio Grande. So give them a call, 908-753-6423, 908-753-6423. You can email them at amica.porterfield@verizon.net. That's amica.porterfield@verizon.net. American Port of Rio Transportation, your source for safe and reliable transportation. It's about 15 minutes past the hour. It's a little early on the break, but So this is scary stuff with this Trump nonsense. Scary stuff. And see, and they don't have a plan. That's the part of the problem. There's no plan. When they ask Trump, what are you going to do? And see, and the sad thing about this is these people, Pete Hegs, the defense secretary, the Secretary of State. I mean, are these jobs so important that you can't tap Trump on the shoulder and say, look, this is, you're getting a little out of hand? No, because, and that's what they want. They, Pete Hegseth wants to be defense secretary. It's a very powerful job. He's the most powerful man on earth besides the president who gives the orders and the president can't give the orders without Congress, But these people, and this lady, what pisses me off about what happened yesterday was that she jumped right out there. Kristi Noem, who God only knows why he made Kristi Noem the Homeland Security Secretary. I'll never know. But she jumped right out there, right after it happened, and said the lady was a domestic terrorist. I mean, without even knowing what happened, she jumps right out there and said that the lady who the ICE officer killed was a domestic terrorist. I mean, really? You don't know what happened. You don't even know. The investigation is still going on. But she jumped out there and called her a terrorist. J.D. Vance, Trump's puppet, did the same thing. But she jumped right out there a couple minutes after the thing happened and said the lady was a domestic terrorist. That lady wasn't no terrorist. And you can see from the video that she was trying to drive away. And that police officer, all he had to do was just step to the side, get out the way, because the lady was leaving and she didn't have any weapons. So they're trying to whitewash this and make it seem like, it was a justifiable accident or justifiable response. And it wasn't, because you have even police officers that I know, have to remain nameless, they have said that they wouldn't have shot the lady. And I know it's Monday morning quarterback and we weren't actually there, but from the video you can see that she wasn't really in the way. I mean, those cops were not in danger. And why did they run up on her car in the first place? They could have let her go. So it's crazy how they did what they did with this lady. 37 years old white woman, never had any trouble, never had any problem, wasn't wanted for anything, and now she's dead because she objected. She objected to the ICE situation that was going there on her street. So now I'm hearing, because people have been hitting me up all day about doing the show today. I'm not sure where they're at right now, but I'm hearing that the lady, I don't have my phone with me. I'm hearing that the lady who the ICE officer shot, or the officer who shot the ICE lady, was in a situation with someone else. I'll grab the information for you. This officer who shot the lady. Let me see. Hold on a second. I'm never ready. Um, um, yeah, the ICE officer who shot the lady was in, her name was Renee Good. I don't want to keep saying the lady. The lady's name was Renee Good, who was killed by the ICE officer. I'm hearing that the FBI also was taking over the case, and Minnesota DPS also the Minnesota DPS is also involved because they wanted to have some kind of local person involved. And protests are going on right now. They're going on right now. This lady, Renee Good, she was 37 years old. So the police officer was involved in something last year. Let me pull it up here so I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to be, I don't want to be wrong. So, yeah, he was involved in something. Let's see here. Yeah, he was involved in, he was dragged by a car late last year in Chicago.
Federal shooting case. An ICE agent
So,
who fired
you know,
shots
this
into
is-
the White
you
Park
know,
neighborhood
this
this
is-
month drove his work SUV back to Maine.
This
A judge
is,
now demanding
you
his
know,
return to Chicago. Tia Ewing is at the Dirksen Courthouse with more.
yeah, this is crazy.
A stunning
What's
twist
going on
came
with
out
this?
in court. The
You know.
SUV that's at the center
But
of
that
this
lady, because
investigation
I got a
was
couple of
driven
calls
over
today where people were
1,100
calling me and
miles
asking me,
away, all the
like,
way
what am I
to
going
the
to
state
necessarily
of
going
Maine.
to talk about
And now
on
the
my
big
show?
question is, did Miramar
And
Martinez and
that was
Anthony
something
Ian
that I
Santos
planned to
Ruiz
talk about. This lady who got killed by the ICE agents. And see, this was an act. This was waiting to happen. This was bound to happen. You know, this is bound to happen because what I wanted to know was, you know, Trump took the age limit off of ICE because he wanted to get as many people as he can to join the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which is what ICE stands for. And so he shortened the training time. And he took off the age limit because actually I think it's 60 something, 62, 65, that you can't be a police officer anymore. It's mandatory retirement. And I think that Trump, when he shortened the academy training time, he also took off, you know, he removed the age limit because you're supposed to be, I think it's 35 is the age limit to be a police officer. Unless you have some time in the Army or something, they'll subtract that Army time. So let's say you're 40 and you had 5 years service, you qualify to be a police officer. But now Trump, because he wanted to have as many ICE agents as possible, what he did was he took the time, he shortened the time that it takes to become an officer down to 6 weeks or 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, when it's supposed to be 12 weeks. And he took the he took the age limit off. So I'm wondering now, because and again, when he announced that, I knew that this was something that was going to happen, because now you have a bunch of people that they rushed through the academy, and now they're out there, and border agents, and they don't have the training to deal with, you know, like local law enforcement stuff. They don't have the training. The Army doesn't have the training. You know, they don't have the training for that. So, and these ICE agents don't have the training to deal with local people. So, this was bound to happen. As soon as Trump did what he did, shortened the academy time, peeled off the age limit, I knew that was going to happen. You know, I knew that was going to happen. So this is where we're at now, and that's not the first time. That's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. Now, they're not releasing any information about the officer, of course. They're like, no, we can't, we can't let y'all know about him. So they're not releasing any information about the officer, But this is a disaster. This is like the last thing that Trump needed. So now he's up at the podium. We got to win the midterms. Yeah, you damn right you got to win the midterms, because if you don't, you're going to have 3 years of not being able to do anything. Because as you guys know, it's the executive branch, which is the president, the cabinet, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. The legislative branch is the Congress and the Senate, and if the Democrats win either one of those, it's over for Trump. It's over for Trump. Because it starts with the Congress, your representative. The Congress proposes a bill, the bill goes to the Senate, and if the Senate agrees, then it goes to the president. But just like with President Obama, when he tried to nominate Merrick Garland to be a Supreme Court justice back in the day, 2019, I think it was. When he tried to nominate Merrick Garland to be a Supreme Court justice, and the Senate wouldn't let it through. The Republican-led Senate would not let that bill. They would not let that bill go through. And I remember Mitch McConnell saying, it's up for the new, and this is like more than a year away from Obama's leaving office, because Obama left office in 2020, I believe it was. So they would not let Obama nominate Merrick Garland to be the Supreme Court justice, because that's just the way it is. So Trump is scared to death, because he knows they're going to lose the midterms. And y'all better get out there and vote. And those of you who voted for Trump, who might be, feeling a little regretful right now, you can redeem yourself. You can redeem yourself by going out there in June. It'll be nice and warm when the midterms take place. Get on out there and vote Democratic. Because that's the only way to stop Trump. Because you see, he's just rolling through, he's not even, and he's supposed to, before he did that thing in Venezuela, he was supposed to go to the Congress and let them know. And he didn't. He didn't. And this is what we're looking at. So if your guys don't get out there and vote in the midterms, I don't know what to tell you. They're serious about the stuff that they're talking about. They're serious about taking over Greenland, a NATO ally. They're looking at Cuba. They're looking at, some other, Colombia, some of the other countries, especially the drug-producing countries in South America. And this is the problem. Trump is the problem. Like I said, their TV, every time their TV interrupts, or they do that test for the emergency system, I'll be like, oh man, don't let this be for real. Don't let this be for real. Because the things that Trump is doing right now is playing with fire. Definitely playing with fire. So I haven't heard from anybody. How come nobody told me what happened with the Board of Education reorganization meeting? Somebody texted me and asked me to ask about it, but I don't know what happened. So somebody needs to come in my message box and tell me what happened, because I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so this is very, very serious. I know we still doing our thing, go to work every day. Yeah, that's what you should do. But But you can take your freedom back from Trump. You can take your freedom back in the midterms. Because all those congressional seats will be up for grabs. I don't think the Senate, because the Senate is 6 years. The Congress is only 2 years, 2-year term. The Senate is 6-year term. So every one of those congressional seats will be up for grabs. So those of y'all who effed up and voted for Trump, thinking that you was going to get something, I mean, Trump is a liar. Trump lies. Yeah, I have to be careful with Trump. I don't want the Secret Service knocking on my door. But Trump doesn't care about anybody. I don't even think he cares about his wife and his kids. You know, you want to change the name of the Kennedy Center? You will never be a Kennedy, not even close. And he wants to do these things, tearing down the White House. Trump is a maniac. He's like the biggest narcissist ever. Oh, Happy New Year, cuz. Still riding that bike. I'm gonna grow up. One of these days, I'm gonna grow up and be just like you. But yeah, but Trump is crazy. This is serious stuff. Now, those are people like me who, not that I'm better than anybody, but people like me who watch this stuff on TV, because I do watch a lot of news, you know. And this stuff is serious. What Trump is doing is serious. Anybody ever seen anything like this before? The American president behaving like Trump is right now. Nobody never seen nothing like that. Oh, 36. Oh man, you the man, cuz. You the man, because me, I'd have to hook something to your bike and you could just pull me along. Nah, I can't say that. I can hang in there. I'm gonna hang with you one day, cuz. I'm gonna hang with you one day. Get my my wheel up. But yeah, this is serious stuff. You know, this is serious what Trump is doing. Y'all don't, you know, you gotta, when the midterms come, you got a chance to take your freedom back from Trump. All 400 and something of those congressional seats are gonna be up for grab. And they only have a small advantage. You see, they're already trying to manipulate the system in Texas by changing the districts, getting rid of the black folks, you know, and making these districts mostly white. So they're trying to put the fix in. They're trying to put the fix in because they're convinced that America is not going to survive the way it is right now. They're convinced that minorities, you know, entitlements, subsidies, all of those things are stopping America from being great. Welfare, WIC, SNAP, Section 8, SSI, because entitlements is a big part of the budget. They're right about that. Entitlements is a big part of the budget, so they're thinking like, well, if we don't have to give out all this money, you know, we can we'll be in a better position, which we would. They're right about that. If they didn't have to give out all the money, the SNAP, WIC, you know, all of this stuff, the country would be in better shape. But they got to find a humane way to do it, though. You can't just, you know, cut people off. And he's right that there's graft in the system. He's right. They're right about that too. They're right that people are getting WIC that, you know, they don't necessarily need it. They're right that people are getting SNAP who can work. You know, they're right about that. Just how they're doing it is not right. But they're right about a lot of the stuff that they talk about. They're right. There is a lot of graft, a lot of theft in the system. A lot. Every one of us knows somebody who get collected and ain't supposed to be. At least one person. I know I do. Cause says my cousin George Crawford says there's more white people on food stamps and welfare than black. Yeah. True indeed. True indeed. There's a lot. It's not just us that's just stealing. You know, it's not just black folks. It's white folks too. But see, you know, I talked about this kind of stuff. And I talk about, now you look on TikTok, what you see, black folks fighting. Primarily black folks. And the common response when I talk about it is white folks fight too. Which is okay, but why do we have to do it? You see, just because somebody else is doing something don't mean that we have to do it. You know. White folks fight, yeah, they fight just as much as we do. But you don't hardly ever see it on TikTok or social media. You know, but you notice when the black folks start to fight, everybody pull out their cameras. Nobody's trying to stop the fight, they just pull it out their cameras. And see, people think that I'm trying to kick black folks back, saying, no, I'm great, I'm a proud black man. And I love being black. But we gotta start being accountable for the stuff that we do. Gotta start being accountable. But yeah, so yeah, this thing is serious with Trump and his Venezuela and all of this Greenland. I mean, he just want to take over places. Now, Venezuela has a government. Venezuela has a government. So how are you going to just step in there and you know, and they have a vice president, for example. So the vice president's supposed to take over Venezuela, not Trump. And somebody had said to me, well, I wonder how he feels if somebody would come get him. I'm like, somebody please come get him and take him. Please. Oh boy. Yeah, so this is some serious stuff with Trump. And nobody still told me what happened at the Board of Education reorganization meeting. I still haven't heard a word about that. And somebody called me and told me to speak on that. And I'm like, I don't know what happened. But anyway, we'll take a break and we'll come right back. Shout out to my people at WBOK 12:30 a.m. in New Orleans who may be getting a sneak peek at the Ron Kelly show. Is going to be on there very soon. Got a lot to talk about with them because, man, they went through the Hurricane Katrina and stuff, and they bounced back because that city was washed away. And so, yeah, they got a lot of resilient people. A lot of people left. Some people never came back. People, you know, Texas, Louisiana, some of the southern states, they went to Alabama, Mississippi, or they moved out of the New Orleans area. So yeah, serious stuff. I remember watching that on TV. I'm like, oh my God. People on their rooftops. I mean, can you imagine? It's not funny, but can you imagine being on your roof and the water is up to your roof? Now, we've never seen nothing like that. Now, we've had floods. We had, Hurricane Ida, and we had Hurricane Sandy, but we didn't have nothing like what they had in New Orleans. We didn't have nothing like what they had. So when the show gets down there, I'm going to be talking to them about how they came through. And you'll be able to call into the program. You can call, even though you're up here, you can still call in to the program down there. So it's going to be all good. Anyway, we take a break and we'll come back with more of this program, Mr. Ron Kelly radio show, and it's on Blog Talk, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, WBOK AM, and theronkellyshow.com. Yes, indeed, I am the man. What a news cycle this is. This guy has got to go. Trump has got to go. George Floyd snuffed out by this police officer who's supposed to be serving and protecting people.
It's the Ron Kelly Show.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Oh, you almost called me out there. Welcome back, everybody. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program, and it's on all over the place. Shout out to my boy, Shadi Thomas, who used to be my barber way back in the day when I lived in Paterson, back in 2004, 2005. Shadi Thomas was my barber back in the day. Good to hear from you, brother. Appreciate the like. Ilia Nueva, I believe Ilia Nueva, I don't want to butcher the lady's name. Ilia Villanueva, that's it. Yeah, I remember her when I used to live in Paterson. I was running around trying to build up this show from nothing. And you know what? You see that thing? I like watching that. And I watch that sometimes when I'm by myself. I watch that when my name is all over the buildings. Because one day my name is going to be all over those buildings. You watch and see. So, because this is a tough business trying to get people to listen to you. Especially now, these days, with all the stuff that's going on. With all the stuff that's going on. But shout out to Ilia Villanueva. Shout out to her. I remember her from back in the day when I used to hang out in Paterson, going to council meetings, going to school board meetings, when my show was basically more political than it is now. And so, yeah, and I remember, I got pictures of me and Jeff Jones, Marty Barnes. I loved Marty Barnes. I don't know about the rest of y'all. You know, yeah, he did what he did, but I loved Marty Barnes. Marty Barnes was always available to me. Anytime I went up, to City Hall and I asked to speak to him, he would always welcome me in with no problem, unless he was in a meeting or something. But for the most part, I did have access to Marty. And then when I used to see Marty Barnes on the street, Marty would be in the city car and he wouldn't have no security. Because Marty Barnes didn't need any security. You know, he was well liked, well loved in the Paterson community, and man, you know, yeah, he did what he did. You know, he made a mistake. And when he got out of jail, when Marty Barnes got out of jail, I called him. Well, I spoke to his wife, I think. And he came on my show. He came up to when I used to do the program at William Paterson University, So anybody that I interviewed, they had to be there. And I hooked up with Marty, and I was the only person he would talk to. I think I still have that tape. I was the only person that he would talk to, because I know the other, you know, the newspapers and what have you were trying to get to him, but I'm the only person that he would talk to. And he came up to the studio, and we had a really frank, good conversation. So, you know, I was really hurt when I heard that he had passed away. But Marty Barnes was a good mayor. He just did something bad. Anyway, enough about Marty Barnes' testimonial. It's 14 minutes before the hour. It's a Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. And it's all over the place. blogtalkradio.com, the Ron Kelly Show .com. So yeah, so wow. Venezuela, wow. I feel bad for the lady who died. And this stuff with Trump is dangerous. And I don't think everybody really understands like how dangerous what Trump is doing, how dangerous it actually is. Because we're living in a powder keg society as it is. You see what I'm saying? And Russia, China, and there's about 20 countries, 20 to 25 countries that have nuclear weapons. And all you need is one person. See, because what's keeping everybody alive right now is that it's a zero-sum game, meaning that if one person shoots off a missile, and I'm not trying to scare anybody, but if one person shoots off a missile, it's going to be a chain reaction. So let's say India and Pakistan, because they hate each other, start fighting, or Russia and Ukraine, you know, or the United States and everybody hates us the way it's going right now. You see, because you can't, if North Korea is firing off weapons, you know, see, somebody's going to be crazy enough one day to use them, one. And like looking at North Korea, even though we could destroy the whole country in about 10 seconds, but all they need is one. All they need is one missile to land in the United States, and it's over. You know what I'm saying? Because wherever it lands, nothing will be able to exist there. So, what Trump is doing is very dangerous. You know, like I said, I'm not trying to scare anybody. Hopefully, nothing will happen. Jesus will take the wheel. But yeah, 12 minutes before the hour. So yeah, this is very, 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 very dangerous what Trump is doing right now. Very dangerous. This is very, very. Yeah. Okay. Sound is good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So again, when you know, I guess it's about 9 minutes left of the program. So listen. So when the midterms start, now y'all better get on the ball. Get on the ball. The midterms are coming up. I'll even let you know when. Midterms 2026. Okay, here we go. Yeah, see, Trump is talking about canceling the midterms. You see what I'm saying? Dangerous white man. President Donald Trump on Tuesday floated the idea of canceling future elections. elevating a long-standing concern among critics of how he might try to limit threats to his power in his second term. Trump brought up the idea while speaking to House Republicans at the annual retreat and then quickly insisted he was not calling for such a move, casting his remarks as a critique of Democrats rather than a proposal. See, but you can't, Trump can't say, oh, I was just playing. You know how I was just playing. Trump can't do that because that's something that he really thought about, because he knows that he's going to lose. He's going to lose. He's afraid he's going to get impeached. He said, you got to win the midterms, because if we don't win the midterms, they'll find a reason to impeach me. Yeah, you're right. I'll get impeached. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Now, federal law says that a president can't cancel or postpone congressional election. But see, this is something he was talking about. This is something he thought about, like canceling elections so he doesn't lose, because he knows he's going to lose. He knows. He knows that if he loses the Congress, it's over for him. I mean, he'll still have executive privilege power, but without the Congress, they're done. Because the Senate can't, every bill that goes to the president's desk has to go past Congress. Has to. Just like it's got to go past the Congress, it's got to go past the Senate. So everything Trump does has been rubber stamped by the psychopath Republicans that are serving right now. But see, if Trump loses the midterms, you see, that's why y'all gotta vote. This is important. Now, I never really was a big supporter of voting. I, like many other people, was thinking that, hey, I don't care about no voting. But this is important. This is very important. And you gotta get out there. And you got to vote. This is serious, because Trump is nuts. And I mean, do you think that we're going to survive another 3 years of Trump with rubber stamp Congress, rubber stamp Senate? You think we're going to survive? This country might not even be here in 3 years the way Trump is going. So we have to get out there and vote. Now, I've never been one to say go vote. But this time, you got to get out there. You got to get out there. And so whatever district you live in, whoever your congressperson is, and a lot of y'all voted for Trump, black folks, Hispanics, you see what you did? You see what you helped create? So you can make up for that. You can make up for that by voting Democratic. And the Democrats, I'm not the biggest supporter of the Democrats either. I'm not. But, it's like the lesser of the two evils. And the Democrats are the lesser of the two evils. That's why, I say vote Democratic. Because the Democrats are not going to try to take over the world like Mr. Trump is. So most definitely vote Democratic. So the midterms are in the midterms. Yeah, he predicts that he's going to be. Yeah, he's talking about it. He can't do it, but he's talking about it. You see, he's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. Now, in New Jersey, I don't think New Jersey has a Republican. Or maybe they do. I don't know. New Jersey, May 5th is the May 12th is New Jersey election. May 12th for New Jersey. That doesn't look right. But anyway, yeah, it says May 12th, but it doesn't say if there's any Congress people or Republicans that are running for office there. But yeah, there's a football on tonight. Let me run over to the cigar bar. Yeah, have a cigar and root for. Well, I'm not rooting for nobody. My team never made it to the playoffs, so I'm just a observer right now. I'm not rooting for anybody. And not that I'm a hater, you know. I'm just not rooting for anybody because, you know, my team didn't make it. All right, it's about 3 minutes before the hour. We're going to break out of here. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Appreciate you. My people's down in WBOK 12:30 a.m., who I have heard from a couple people. Appreciate you. And, of course, everybody up here, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, blogtalkradio.com, and all the other places the Ron Kelly Show airs. Yeah. And somebody pirated my show. My show was on another. I have to handle that. My show is on another because somebody is broadcasting my show on their station. They're not paying me, so I have to see to that. Because you get nothing for free. Anyway, everybody, I'm breaking out of here. We are out. We'll talk to you next week for another edition of the Ron Kelly Show. Don't forget, we gotta vote. You gotta pass the word around. The only way to stop Trump is to take one of those houses of Congress. Otherwise, he's gonna destroy us. So I guess I'll be waiting for the Secret Service to knock on my door. But we gotta take one of those houses of Congress back. One of them. We don't have to have the Senate and the Congress. We just need one. And more than likely, it's probably going to be the Congress because there's a more diverse. There's only 50 senators. There's 400 congressmen, thereabouts. So we got a better chance with the Congress than we do with the Senate. So definitely get yourself together. Get ready. Because Trump is trying to kill us all. So we need to get the dust off your voting cap and do your homework, do your research, find out who that you're going to vote for, Democratic. If you got to get to Trump, we got to get the Senate or the Congress away from Trump. We got to get the Congress away from Trump because the midterms, there is no midterms for the Senate. Senate votes every 6 years. Congress every 2 years. So get yourself together and get ready. And we're going to break out of here. So thanks so much for joining me. We'll see you back here next week for another edition of the Ron Kelly Show. So until then, everybody, take care of yourself. And remember that it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. And that we may not have it all together. But together we can certainly have it all. Thank you so much.